Hi guys. Are we streaming? We're streaming. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the merger, right? This is the TikTok merger that happened today. And I almost forgot about it, you guys. Almost forgot. So I'm recording this. This is gonna be a short live stream, but I am recording this because I wanted to put a little bit of the footage over on TikTok if I can. Let me go over to my open window really quickly so that we can look at the merger and see exactly what happened today and what's going to take place in the future. These slides may or may not be in order. So if they're not in order, forgive me, but we're going to make it through the best we can. And I do apologize for my stuffy nose because you guys, I went to the store today because supposed to be an ice storm coming. It's supposed to be a really bad winter storm coming. So I went to the store and I think somebody got me sick. I'm pretty sure it's not sinuses. So, but we're gonna try to make it through, okay? All right. So the U.S. joint venture or reconstructing of TikTok to address security concerns is scheduled to close on January 22nd, which is today, 2026. Under the deal, a new entity, the TikTok USDS Joint Venture LLC, will be formed featuring majority ownership by American investors, including Oracle and Silver Lake. So the key details regarding the 2026 reconstruction, reconfiguring, and all of that. The transaction closed today, January 22nd, 2026. Structure: a new U.S. joint venture, U.S. TikTok USDS joint venture LLC, will be formed. Ownership: American investors, including Oracle, Silver Lake, and Abu Dhabi, if I'm saying that correctly, but it's Abu Dhabi based MGX will hold 80.1% of the new entity, while ByteDance will hold 19.9%. The governance of the new company will have a 7-member board, with a majority being U.S. citizens. So, the background: the deal initiated in late 2025 following a U.S. executive order aims to comply with national security laws regarding foreign controlled apps. Let's move on to the next slide. So, coming from 17 different sites, the following operational and structural changes took effect today, closing the TikTok USDS joint venture on January 22nd, 2026. Let me put a pin right there because I was live on TikTok watching, supporting, and when I reopened my app, what happened was I got a notification. And while I was watching other live streams, one in particular, the lady live stream kind of did something weird. She got a notification and things began to change. So, what changed? The governance and ownership, American majority control, new leadership, Adam Pressner, who has been appointed CEO of the new U.S. entity TikTok USDS Joint Venture LLC. The independent board is the venture is governed by a 7-member majority American board responsible for U.S. data protection, content moderation, and algorithm security. What does that mean? While the January 22nd, 2026 agreement was finalized specifically to prevent a shutdown, any failure to adhere to its strict security requirements would trigger the sale or ban law originally passed in 2024. If the deal were ever deemed insufficient, or if operational conflicts across the following impacts would likely occur in the United States: gradual loss of access, App Store removal, performance without the ability to receive updates. The app would gradually stop working, internet blocking. The law would eventually require the internet service providers to make TikTok inaccessible. Also, global connection. The U.S. users can still discover the international creators, which is a good thing, right? And American content will continue to be shared with the global TikTok community. So if you were wondering what's going to happen to my international friends, right now, it seems to be okay. While the U.S. entity owned by Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX manages domestic data and moderation, separate TikTok global entities are responsible for the technical bridge that connects the U.S. version to the rest of the world, right? So the algorithm bridges or as such. Although the U.S. algorithm is now restrained on American data for security purposes, it is designed to be compatible with the global version to maintain a unified user experience. So that means that even the TikTok shop should be okay. Let's look at the next slide, right? Um, we talked about ownership, we talked about governments, we talked about the background in late 2025. So the original merger that created the current version of TikTok occurred on August 2nd, 2018, when ByteDance combined Musically with the TikTok app. So is this the first merger? Is this the first sale? Absolutely not. Okay. What if something happens? What if something goes wrong? Another thing that could happen is the app could go dark. ByteDance previously stated in court that if it could not sell the app, it would prefer to go dark and shut down the U.S. operations rather than include its proprietary algorithm in a forced sale. What about the security risk? Well, some experts warn that if the app is banned, users might turn to untrustworthy or pirated versions or VPNs that could expose their devices to malware. Okay? A full ban could provoke China to retaliate against major American companies operating there, such as Apple, Telsa, or Microsoft, potentially disrupting global supply chains. So TikTok is kind of a big deal, right? I mean, what else should we know about this? I mean, economic disruptions. If anything should go wrong with this merger, you've got a small business impact. Over 7.5 million US businesses currently use TikTok, so they would be affected. Job loss, roughly 4.7 million US jobs could just disappear. Ad revenue shifts, roughly $12 billion in annual U.S. advertising spend would be forced to shift to platforms like YouTube and Instagram, likely driving up advertising costs for other brands. What about user and creator experience? Well, audience, um, like creators who have built massive followings, right, would lose direct access to their communities, forcing a move to alternative platforms, which, frankly, in my opinion, is already happening because people are afraid of what's you know, going on. They're also afraid of what could happen, and rightfully so. But you'll still be able to interact with your international friends. Nothing is going to happen to the TikTok shop as long as everything goes smoothly. Your global connection will be fine, right? The U.S. entity, again, Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX manages domestic data, right? So everything should be fine. Your user experience and commercial operations should go as planned. No disruption, no interruptions, but there will be changes as you've seen today. On today, you may have got a notification just like myself, just like from other people in the middle of their live streams. If your app was closed and you decided to open it to check things out and you got the notification, this is the reason why, because of today's merger. And so I will leave this information here. If you're on TikTok and you're seeing this, I will leave this information for you on my YouTube channel so that you can read it in full. All right. Anyway, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I didn't want to make the video too long, but I did want to, at least put some of the slides up here that I was able to capture as far as the merger is concerned, so you guys can actually see for yourself what was going to happen, what was taking effect, and how this merger could affect every TikTok user. So, thank you guys so much for listening. Take care. God bless. If you are in danger of the winter storm, please stay warm, be safe, make sure that you get everything you need, and prayers to everyone.